Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another hard-hitting episode of the Callous Mind Talking Head Sportscast. This week we are making our NFL Week 17 predictions. I'm giving you my Week 16 prediction results. I have a story in case you missed it, and there's some breaking news apparently on Russell Wilson. So without further ado, let's get into it. Week's episode by reviewing week 16, and so that started on Thursday night when the Rams defeated the Saints. Then on Saturday the Steelers got the better of the Bengals in their NFC North matchup, and I think the Steelers had their highest offensive output of the season in that game, and the Bengals lost, kind of falling back to earth. So it seems to me like there can only be two teams come out of the AFC North, and I think those two teams are going to be the Ravens and the Browns, but the Steelers are still playing, so I give them credit for that. And the Chargers the Chargers lose a squeaker to the Bills at home, so the Chargers season continues to just crash and burn. On Sunday, the Colts lose to the Falcons and see their playoff hopes begin to dwindle. The Seahawks win a close one against the Titans. The Lions lock up the NFC North title with a win against the Vikings. So congratulations to the Lions. The Jets jumped out to a big early lead in that game against the Commanders and ended up holding on and winning by a score of 30-28. The Packers got the better of the Panthers, but boy, did the Panthers make it interesting. The Browns get a big win on the road against the Houston Texans. The Jaguars lose to the Buccaneers in the Battle of Florida. The Bears defeat the Arizona Cardinals. The Dolphins win a close game against the Dallas Cowboys. And the Patriots, my goodness, they go on the road to Mile High and get a win against the Broncos, man. Ouch. And then on Monday Night Football, the Raiders. Oh, the Raiders. Or it wasn't Monday night. It was more like Monday. But anyway, the Raiders go on the road to Kansas City and get a huge win. And that is beautiful to see. So I got to pause right here and hoist the colors, Raider Nation. Hoist the colors. The Raiders win. The Raiders win. The next game on Monday was the Giants and Eagles, a classic NFC East matchup, and the Eagles did hang on and get a much-needed win there. And the Ravens, on actually Monday Night Football, just destroy the San Francisco 49ers and make them look human. So, wow, that is not... I figured the Ravens would win the game. I thought it would be closer than that, but apparently Brock Purdy threw 4 interceptions, so... it is what it is. The guy's been playing outstanding, and he's bound to have some bumps in the road. So if you're a 49ers fan, you just have to hope those bumps in the road come during the regular season and not in the playoffs. My 2023 National Football League Week 16 pick results were 12 wins and 4 losses. I believe this is the second week in a row that I've finished with a 12-4 record, so... excuse me while I pat myself on the back, but it's not like it means much other than just some bragging rights, because I certainly didn't win any wagers. But speaking of winning wagers, that's what I have in the In Case You Missed It segment of the show coming up. My 2023 National Football League Week 17 predictions are as follows. This week begins on Thursday night. That game features the New York Jets visiting the Cleveland Browns, and I will take the Cleveland Browns at home to get the win against the visiting Jets. We also have another Saturday matchup this week, and that's Saturday, December 30th. The Detroit Lions head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys, and I'm actually going to go ahead and take the Detroit Lions in this game. I can't believe that I'm saying that, but I think that I'm going to go ahead and make this selection. This is one of those that's a toss-up. Will Detroit continue to be hungry and try to get this win against the Cowboys? As now that San Francisco's taken that loss, could Detroit potentially get the number 1 seed in the NFC? Ooh, boy. Questions. Sunday's matchups start with New England visiting the Buffalo Bills. This is a classic AFC East matchup, and I will take the Bills at home to get the win against the visiting Patriots. The next game, the Dirty Birds of Atlanta head to take on the Chicago Bears. And this is another one that's kind of a toss-up for me here because, Chicago didn't look so terrible against the Cardinals, but then again, it's the Cardinals. And the Falcons are coming off of a game in which they scored some points and actually looked, like a decent football team. But then again, the weather lends to probably Chicago. So I'm going to go ahead and take the home field advantage here with the Bears. And I'll pick the Bears to get the win against the visiting Dirty Birds. The next game, the Raiders head to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. And this may be a good time for the Raiders to visit the Colts because the Colts seem like they're kind of spiraling down the toilet bowl away from the playoffs. And the Raiders, let's face it, I don't know what I'm getting from them week to week. You lose 3-0, then you score 63 points, and then you go on the road and defeat Kansas City. So, all signs are, pointing upward, but, it's kind of like this. It feels like every season with the Raiders, oh, yeah, they can make the playoffs. They can control their own destiny. They can do this and that. Well, if you don't take a shit right in the middle of the season, yeah, you have a much better chance of making the postseason. But, I'm ride or die with the Raiders as always. So I will take the Raiders on the road to get the win at the Indianapolis Colts. The next game, the Los Angeles Rams visit the New York They Might Be Football Giants. And I think the weather in New York could certainly play a factor against a West Coast Los Angeles Rams team. So here again, I'm giving the Giants the benefit of the doubt at home. And I'll take the Giants to get this win at home against the Rams. Next game, the Arizona Cardinals visit the Philadelphia Eagles. Watch out for the D batteries from the stands, Arizona Cardinals. And I think Philly flies in this game as well. So I'll take the Eagles to fly at home against the visiting Cardinals. The next game, the New Orleans Saints visit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Tampa Bay seems to be on a bit of a roll and looking to win that NFC South now. So I will take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home to get the win against the visiting Saints. Next game, San Francisco 49ers visit the Washington Commanders. And, of course, weather could play a factor in this game as well. Dimming the high-flying San Francisco 49ers. However, I think they'll do enough regardless to get the win here. So I'll take the 49ers on the road to get the win at the Commanders. Next game, Carolina Panthers visit the Jacksonville Jaguars, a battle of the Cats. And normally I would take Jacksonville in this game, but they seem to be falling as well. And Trevor Lawrence's health seems to be questionable at very best. Plus, Carolina is coming off of a high-scoring game for them. So I'm actually going to take the Carolina Panthers on the road to get this win at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Next game, Miami Dolphins visit the Baltimore Ravens. And as it sits now, this is probably a potential AFC championship style game. The Dolphins would do themselves well by going on the road and getting this win. However, weather could be a factor in this game as well. And normally warm weather teams traveling to cold environments don't necessarily do well this time of year. If you had played this game in like week 4 or week 5, I think it would have lent better to the Miami Dolphins. But the Ravens are coming off that huge win against the 49ers, and they're at home, and the weather could play an important home field advantage for them. So I'm going to take the Ravens, but this is actually a coin toss because I'd love to see Miami win this game. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd really love that. I'd love to see the Miami Dolphins get the number 1 seed in the AFC. I think that would just be very cool because I'm kind of a closet Dolphins fan as well. But I just don't know. They don't have a good history against real good teams, so I'll take the Ravens here. Next game features the Tennessee Titans visiting the Houston Texans, and I will take the home Houston Texans to get the win against the Tennessee Titans. Next game, Pittsburgh visits the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm going to take the Seahawks and the 12th man at home here to get the win against the visiting Steelers. Next game, Los Angeles Chargers visiting the Denver Broncos. And once again, this is a cold climate versus a warmer climate here. Plus, the Chargers have just had a really, really shitty season, quite honestly. And but the wild card in this now is apparently the Denver Broncos are going to be starting Stidham at quarterback and benching Russell Wilson. So I don't really know what we'll get out of this. It might be one of those ugly games, 17-16, 2017, 20-16, something like that. Probably, under 40 points combined. But who the hell knows? But either way, I'll take the Denver Broncos at home, Next game, Cincinnati Bengals visit the Kansas City Chiefs. And this would have been a much more compelling game earlier in the season when Joe Burrow was still healthy. And now with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs coming off that loss to the Raiders, I think they're going to be fit to be tied for this game, and they're going to come out and try to make a statement. So I will take the Kansas City Chiefs at home to get this win against the visiting Bengals. And the Green Bay Packers take on the Minnesota Vikings. This is a classic NFC North matchup with the division already settled. But I will take the visiting Green Bay Packers on the road to get the win at the Minnesota Vikings. And in case you missed it, I wanted to bring this story to light. I saw this yesterday. NFL bettor cashes nearly $500K payday as Christian McCaffrey completes his 14-leg parlay. This is crazy. Apparently, this guy wagered $5. Yeah, right here. San Francisco 49ers may have lost to the Baltimore Ravens on Monday night, but there was at least one NFL fan who was a big winner thanks to a $5 bet on a 14-leg parlay. The New Jersey bettor, identified as Travis Duffner, started the Week 16 slate of NFL games needing touchdowns from Christian McCaffrey, Najee Harris, Gabriel Davis, Jahmyr Gibbs, DK Metcalf, Jerome Ford, Chris Rodriguez Jr., Jonathan Taylor, Calvin Ridley, James Conner, Raheem Mostert, Javonte Williams, Isaiah Pacheco, and DeAndre Swift. He bet $5 to potentially win $489,378.01 at nearly 100,000 to 1 odds on DraftKings Sportsbook. All he needed was the 49ers running back to score a touchdown. Jubilation struck with 3:23 left in the second quarter as McCaffrey ran for a 9-yard touchdown to cut San Francisco's deficit to 1 point. So that is super cool. And I will leave a link to this story in the show notes on callousmind.com. So if you guys want to go out and read it yourselves. That's going to do it for this episode of the Callous Mind Talking Head Sportscast. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas. Please, please, please be safe on New Year's Eve. Make good decisions. Do not drive under the influence of absolutely anything. Please, please, please be good to yourselves and each other. And I will talk to you all next week. God bless.